because you got teams just playing so differently because it's the last match, right? It's not likely. That's why I always say you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're 10 points down on the last game, because it's that much more difficult to do, because all the strategies, everything you know about PUBG Mobile esports, it kind of goes out the window. Like at that point, the last game of the tournament, it's usually won by who can adapt the best, right? And man, teams need to be able to do that here and now. Regnum Karya in particular, like in order for them to have a shot, Max, they'd have to take down Thunder Talk, D plus Kia, all these squads, or even try to at least, they have to do at least hunt down one of them, right? Yeah. And win the game and go crazy. So there's a lot of factors here that for me, it's just too much to consider, but you never know. I mean, we could see a miracle for sure.
There are three things always constant in life. No, death, taxes, and Hot Jukes asking for a hot drop on the final game.
Oh.
What? What was that?
One Piece being a horrible anime.
Oh, whoa! Jason, let's talk maybe in London. You know, I'm just saying. We'll have a little chat about that one.
Dude, I just saw Max Man. Like, I could hurt Max-Man's fist just clenching, dude.
But no. Okay, I'll move on from that topic. But it is going to be a close one for these teams. And realistically, I'm not going to lie, looking at the teams in bottom 5, bottom 6, Hot Jukes, I don't know if you would agree, but I think one team of the bottom 5 might be able to make it out, and that's it. I think we got one slot. Let's not forget that for the last group, only like no one left the bottom 5 in that last game. So it's really tough to leave in the bottom game because the teams above you play it so safe. It's so hard to take them down.
Okay, all right, boys, let's do this, right? The bottom 5 teams, let's all say it at the same time. Which one squad do we think can make it, right? 3, 2, 1. DRS.
Alliance.
One Piece.
Wow.
What a game are you playing, Jason?
You really think Alliance over DRS?
I'm trying to go for something a bit different, and also I don't want to curse anyone, so DRS, please don't hunt me down.
I like that strategy. Oh boy.
I don't know. I think it comes down to, are they going to adapt? I mean, the thing is, I feel like any of those teams are just going to play safe. And I don't know if playing safe is going to be enough, even though a chicken dinner might be enough to get you through. But as we can see on the countdown, 5 seconds left to go before we head into the final match of Group Green, before we do make our way into survival stage, kicking off next week on Wednesday. So let's put back to our commentators one more time with John Allen and Blake.
The group stages end here with a final trip over Miramar. The desert awaits and it is heating up. So much is at stake for so many teams, and with 24 matches to play, this is the last round.
The last match, the last bastion for some teams to hold on to their spot in the tables. We're on a hard east playing path here, John. Struggle for some of the squads to get to where they want to go, but you got to deal with some of these awkward playing paths sometimes. Just unfortunate when it happens here right at the end of the day. In terms of the leaderboards, there's suddenly a lot of teams vying for positions. 77 might have just secured themselves their position over towards the survival stage off the back of that last game, but anything can still happen. This is the most close we've seen a group so far.
So competitive, especially at the bottom end of the tables, right? There are so many teams that have that opportunity. That door is open, but it's just a matter of stepping through it. And it is heavily guarded. The velvet rope remains in place for now. And they will try to lift it, but it's heavier than it looks.
As always, 4MV get themselves a Chumacera shift. Has it worked for them in the past? No. Will it work for them now? We don't know. It could do. We will see what happens here for 4MV. Voin Donkey starting Partona, of all places, and be happy with that result down there. D Plus chasing for a 3rd place position as well. They got so terribly close that last game. 162 to 165. It all rides on them and the Thunder Talks. Thunder Talks taking a bit more of a backseat after these last few games, hoping that D Plus will trip themselves up. But RCB with 147 points. Chicken dinner, maybe?
I mean, it's a long way off. It's 18 points is the difference between them and 3rd place. It would also require for MV, D Plus Kia, and Thunder Talk to all have a pretty crap game, all things considered. So, I mean, it's possible, sure.
So you're telling me it's possible?
I'm telling you, there's a chance. That's exactly what I'm saying. However, super unlikely. We did have a little catch up with 4MV and also, I think, with the Vicious. So, Seven, what have you got to tell us?
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. This one's going to be quick. It's going to be in regards to 4MV. I got a chance to talk to their coach. They're saying that for this last match, they're just going full aggressive. It's not just going to be Doc by himself. It's going to be everybody else. Now, another team that needs to be able to perform on this last match, it's going to be the Vicious. They have fallen massively, and they're trying to maintain themselves to actually go to survival stage. From what I was talking with Bruno, he's saying that they're not going to be aggressive. They're waiting to be patient. They do have a lead on some of the other teams that are currently in 12th, 13th place, and so on. So they're waiting for the right time. Aggressive and patience. Let's see what ends up winning.
Two opposing play styles. Let's see how it works out for those two squads. 4MV, I mean, sure, if you're going to go aggressive, you need to be together, right? It's not. They were aggressive in the last two matches, Blank. I think that's safe to say. They just did it really badly. Is the issue? It's a question of how you enact that aggressiveness.
Yeah, and right now what we're seeing is a blind Rhino on the side of 4MV, which is easily sidestepped by a lot of our squads. So I think that for 4MV, it's time to take the blindfolds off, scout a little bit, use your binoculars. More importantly, just use your eyes. So right now, there doesn't seem to be a lot of scouting going on for this team. It's just, let's go. We're going to take this position. There might be a team there. Handle it, says Doc loudly as the rest of his team attempts to follow up.
Also, I'm actually already fighting them and already down, so handle it.
Yeah. Pretty much is how it's going. 9th place for 77. What a turn up from them on the 5th match of the day. Again, I was saying this earlier, but it is really difficult in your last two matches when you're on the border, when you're already at risk of leaving the tournament, to have a big game like that. That's not easy to do, and it was a difficult position to do it in. So for 77, it's a massive well done from me. That is a very, very difficult prospect. Finally, to get themselves some luck going their way. RRQ in 12th place. 10 points behind the Vicious, who have dropped down slowly but surely. A couple of good circles. Some fortuitous rotates did sit them towards the top of the tables, but now, once again, they are in the firing line of DRS, Cellcom Digi Alliance, as well as RRQ.
And the other teams besides as well, but I mean, let's talk about the circle for just a second. It's gone all the way down to Shumasera, which is right on top of 4MV Blank. That is a very, very central position that 4MV have been afforded. So aggressive, maybe you want to play a little bit more towards the center and play a little bit more passive here. Opposite story for the Vicious, right? They're over near Torre Hamada, up on the northeast side. Brute Force are out there as well. They're probably going to need to play aggressive to get their way in. So despite their game plan going into this one, it feels like the game has chosen differently for them.
Yeah, and I said this earlier on, but 4MV, I don't think they do well on Chumacera central circles. I don't know why, but it almost feels like they get a little bit claustrophobic when it comes to circles like this, where they're not sure what to do with themselves, because they are such a bouncy team, let's say, where they really do want to get things done. They want to fight, they want to move, they want to rotate, but here they're forced to just sit still. I don't think that bodes well with them.
I'm giving a question mark to the fact that Magnum has no helmet currently. Feels like something that you could definitely get from basically anywhere. So I don't know why he's going around without that head protection. It's going to be potentially a factor in their fights on the south side hills, because you are going to be slowly peeking those heads over the ridge lines, taking those shots. Well, you certainly want to be able to do that. And without a helmet, you're so much more easily sat back.
Osal far rotate over towards the western side, ahead of the Thunder Talks, but the rest of his team is a little bit late behind. The Thunder Talks actually on their north side, looking down the hilltop. If Osal can get a strong position over towards that front line, give them the anchor, potentially they could even take out their opposition early on into this match. But Team Secret, they have eyes on over towards Osal early. There is a shot that goes through to him, which will back him off. No team fire, though. It's a bit unfortunate. Someone takes a shot a bit early.
be able to find the knock, but do secure a little bit of this zone and push players a little bit further away, make it known that they're not just going to be passive on that South Road hold, make it difficult for D plus Kia and Thunder Talk both to move on in. And the fact that D plus Kia and Thunder Talk are so close to each other, Blank, this is a firecracker of a fight for our final match and such a pivotal point on the tables between those two teams.
CAG making their way down. They do take a knock on the backside, though, unfortunately. Should be losing a play for that versus RCB. 8 minutes on the clock. And we'll get our first stage shift in just 20 seconds. Naoto will be flushed out by Silas. You know, a bit more room to play on this northern side. 4MV still holds fairly central. I just won't do too much. Just sticking around in Chumasera for now. Should have found some vehicles, though, just in case they need to make a rotate out. And it does head over towards that western side, towards DRS. In a very strong spot in Ladriera, playing up on the ridge side. Some of the highest ground in this area of the map.
This is a really difficult area of the map as well, Blank. There's those two lines of ridges that run, one through Ladriera, one out to the west side of it. That Ladriera ridge sits on that middle line that you're talking about, with DRS having that position, but you've got RRQ who can move in on the west side. Brute Force can come in late on that angle, and RCB may be looking to move over the top and compete for it too. Every single team's going to have to move, and that southeast side is the hotspot for me. D plus Kia and Thunder Talk, Influence Rage as well, all moving in the same area behind 77.
Goodness me. 77 managed to get themselves into a good spot in Minister and Morales, but like you said, there's tons of teams all following them. D plus Kia on a wide rotate over towards Valle de Mar. They could even actually slot themselves in underneath DRS, which would not be a bad play. I mean, playing Valle de Mar isn't ideal, it's very much on the low ground, but again, you're just looking for safety at this point because it's a very dangerous circle.
Hoping that you can find something. RRQ actually leave that western ridgeline. It is quite far towards the west side of this next circle, meaning it's not as strong as it could be. That Ladriera Ridge really the mainstay point of this one, and it's DRS's right now. Nobody yet in Valle de Mar, but finally D plus Kia are going to move into the east side of it, 77 close by. The fact that none of these teams out in the east have actually gone into a fight just goes to show how nervous, well, maybe not nervous, but how cautious they're playing on this last match when so much is at stake.
For this particular lobby, there is a lot on the line. It is just so ridiculously close at the moment. Some teams have been able to break out, and again, we cannot congratulate Voin Donkey enough for the performance that they've shown today. It has been just unbelievable. Some great aggression in the early game into some very solid games towards the end with just safety plays. Even them getting themselves another chicken dinner on that last match. Just wonderful work overall for them. 137 points, sees himself very, very safe to survival stage. RCB have to turn tail, though. Head over towards the west here in Ladriera, potentially pick up one of the positions on the northwest side.
Voin Donkey ID. Central, so are 77, so are DRS. This is all ground-grabbing tactics here. And the land wars are on for the central areas of this one. Everybody with something at stake. They can pitch their claim and make it known. Next circle, it goes to the east. Brute Force going to have to leave that ridgeline. That's that western ridgeline I was talking about. And again, it keeps that Ladriera ridgeline in play. From the north side, RCB could look to move down it.
Very much a possibility here. I mean, Stalwart are in the area. Brute Force may be looking to get across to the other side, but they are out in no man's land for the time being. Still fighting out for that first place spot, by the way, versus Influence Rage. Currently have 179 points. Both D Plus as well as the Thunder Talks have not gone down yet. And the Thunder Talks go for something a little bit more safe over towards the southeast side. And Chumasera tucking themselves out of action, trying to get high placements.
I feel like the approach for Influence Rage is a little tougher. Actually, no. To be honest, they're all really, really dastardly approaches for Influence Rage, for Brute Force, the two teams competing for that first place spot. You're right, Thunder Talk looking to defend. They also have that tough approach through Chumacera to get past 4MV as well, with so much at stake. Secret on the southeast side, Nolbu, the flex out angle for D plus Kia right now. And they're playing right towards the edge. Fabian chimes in from the back line, and Nolbu kept safer. South moves into position. They are marshalling their forces towards Team Secret, who are trying to get around behind them, but it's not going to be allowed. And this is great news for D plus Kia to open the bidding.
D plus, even if they're able to get quite a few points over on this southeast side, pick up quite a big margin off the back of it. The fact that Thunder Talks are right now playing really passive and have to pass through Celcom Digi Alliance in a dangerous area, as well as 4MV. I don't know how the prospects look for the Thunder Talks right now, but for D plus Kia, there's a potential of a whole lot more points just defending on this south side of the map.
Oh, Neo spotted, has to hop up, does stay safe for the time being. The rest of Brute Force flexing out, getting some scouting done. Prepod still on the back line, waiting for that third party. They've somehow managed to get into this compound blank. 77 allow them through. RRQ didn't quite have the angles to stop them. Freezer trying to isolate that ridgeline. They're establishing themselves here. This is how you move into a compound and create that space that you need to get into these next circles. And it's how you win championships. If they can do things like this consistently, I'm hoping that over in those grand finals where, to be honest, it's almost certain we're going to be seeing them now, they may be onto a winner. So we'll be looking forward to that.
Heading into stage 4 soon. This is where things start to get a little bit more dangerous. 10 seconds on the clock before that does shift out. Team Secret just cannot find themselves a home and are likely to be one of our first teams to drop out from this tournament in Group Green.
That vehicle can't have much longer left on it. One player down. They've already lost one, so only the two remain. And the vehicle's going to go up in smoke soon enough. Celcom Digi Alliance smell blood in the water. And a chance to make it happen. Influence Rage are going down in the meantime as well, Blank. Over on the northeast side with 4MB, with CNG Osaka. Team Liquid surrounding them. So potentially not a 16th place for Team Secret if they can stay alive for just that little bit longer.
Leons from Celcom Digi Alliance sending some nades over top. 7 in the back pocket. You're right. Influence Rage takes a whole bunch of damage. Down to just one player now. And Brute Force might have just secured themselves that first place off the back of that one, especially considering the fact that they have time to live down this south side. D plus get locked out, but as do the Thunder Talks, where they have found a narrow opening over on that eastern side and might be able to even get themselves over towards a good position inside the circle. Shots over towards the Vicious is from RCB, who are alive in this situation. 2 players down and looking to head further up the tables here.
Reyes with a nade up on high towards Loxy. Needs to be careful. Flush is not coming through. Wild is Reservoir on the inside of the church. Another nade goes to Loxy and gets the knock. If he can find another one, doesn't have any more in the back pocket for Reyes. He runs dry. And the Vicious, they're taking shots from a third-party angle. I think that's COG Osaka. And it's DRS as well, who are taking the shots and will keep RCB in it. The Vicious are down and they are on the bubble. It all hangs in the balance. What can be done by RRQ, by DRS, by Celcom Digi Alliance?
This is now a time to send on forward, and it was not Team Secret to go out first. It was the Vicious, and you're right. That opens things up. With them not profiting at all, there is a clear avenue of success. 4MV started things off by bullying CAG, which went terribly after a while, and now it's time for 4MV to get a little bit of own back. Nade over the top side, fantastically placed, and CAG is out. They will not be joining us in the survival stage or the remainder of the PMGC.
When that old bad blood breaks to new mutiny, 4MV stand up above it. And 162 now is their scoreline with the 3 eliminations they find off the back of the fight. They are in competition, and they will not go down that easily. Up and into the position above Team Secret. There's 2 more still to play for. Baron has flexed out. In from the south side. Celcom Digi Alliance also looking to compete for the high ground. Need to be careful. Baron could just get rolled down here and now.
Celcom Digi Alliance heading over the top. There is Team Secret below. Do Team Secret take shots over to Selcom Digi Alliance, or does 4MV able to hold their own versus them? But they're getting knocked down. Selcom Digi Alliance finds one. Jimmy opens things up, and now only 2 players left remaining for 4MV. But it's Team Secret to chime in from the backside. They're taking more shots as... Oh dear, that's gone terribly wrong for Selcom Digi Alliance. Currently in 12th place as well, John.
Spray down onto Apex, and now it's just Doc left to stand. Can he run his apology tour back with one player up on the top rope? It's Olio looking to rain down bullets upon him. Team Secret put pressure on, and a flex out comes through from Thundertalk. All the while, out they go to the top of the hill to play spoiler, defend their place in the finals, and in they go to the fight. Over towards Olio, they dispatch one, but put 2 in his place. Team Secret look to move up and over, and it might be all done for 4MV. Are they going to be cut short here? It's all up to Reefus now. The nade over the top from Break. He's pushed back off the ridgeline. So is Jaiki, as Thundertalk continue to put pressure on. Team Secret dispatched, and the reses, they're not there for 4MV yet, but they're happening slowly. Can they get themselves back to their feet? The nade from King is enough to take them out, and 4MV cannot make the distance. Pushed down in 5th place.
Damn, that feels very bad for 4MV and 4MV fans alike. Unable to keep things going, step into a bad fight there, and no scout over towards Team Secret means that they go down. Boing Donkey still putting on the pressure over towards 77. D plus Kia, they take a knock in the process, but have found 2 eliminations. Thundertalks, though, pulling ahead. And from the eastern side, they control so much space, John. And with 2 loot crates in front of them, this is a wild time for the Thundertalks.
Looking to defend their spot here, but D plus Kia will give it a good go. You can bet on that. Voin Donkey. See the wrong end of the scope there from them as well. And as D plus Kia look to add more points on Thundertalk, they're on the far side of the ridgeline blank. The crossing that sits ahead of them, difficult.
Zadira finding Osal. Not a good moment to start off with, but they will finish him off. And that's D plus Kia up to 3 eliminations, clearing out the opposition on their north side, but it's Voin Donkey ahead of them. Brute Force off towards their northwest. They are in it to win it here, John.
And remember that bubble at the bottom here. DRS with their high ground position in a spot to maybe do something here. Brute Force could go down as well. But with Influence Rage getting curtailed in the meantime, that may not be as bad as it seems to them. They have only got a 6-point lead though, and Lorazin is isolated from all of this fighting.
Next target will be Voin Donkey for D+. They need to get some kind of... Sorry, that confused me for a second. There's 2 players so fast. They need to get some kind of aggression over towards that north side, claim a bit of land for their own as we head into stage 6 very soon. There's Stalwart finding shots over towards Team Liquid, but I think Stalwart might have done enough here to keep themselves in this one, unless RRQ and DRS go all the way to the end game.
It would be something quite special, and Stalwart can stay alive for a little bit longer as well. Team Liquid just trying to find an opening near Thundertalk on the far side, who are just trying to stay alive now. RCB pushing in, with Thundertalk doing what they've done so far this match and looking set to survive a lot later. RCB's chase might be futile, but they will give it a go. They do not want to let that opportunity waste. If they can afford it, they will give themselves that platform. See if they can bring Turkey back to the global stage. Into the top spots. The next circle. It pops central. It cuts Thundertalk's position out. It keeps D+ in.
So important for them. Team Liquid up against Stalwart. One good shot around the side. We'll find one, but it's Stalwart coming back into this one. Fearless. Braving the building. We'll get 2 knocks off the back of that one as Team Liquid try to regroup on that north side, but Stalwart had already laid down the fortress. It was just the turrets on the sidelines to take down the majority of Team Liquid. So for Jason, no easy Team Liquid win to finish off their tournament run here. Voin Donkey, though, finding a shot onto Norbu. That's very bad news. Leave them down as just 3 players. And again, there's no one really to challenge the Thundertalks on this eastern side.
They have to make a move, though. I mean, they have to move and probably pass Lorazin. If Brute Force can just outlast the Brazilian opponents, they will claim this top spot blank unless Thundertalks get some miraculous results, and maybe they can do it here. RRQ crashing into Brute Force, but Snake goes down. 2 players for Brute Force, maybe too much to handle here as Frieza up and down the stairs. Fnatic tries to crash down for the assistance, but there's top shots coming through from Voin Donkey as well. Frieza with the one, looks for a second as well, with a pump action around the door frame. He's low, steps aside for the spray down, and heads back upstairs, looking to try and heal, stay safe, allow the teams around him to take the shot to Fnatic as well, and in he goes. Brute Force fall down. Can Influence Rage do enough from the east side here to push past them? But with 3 elims on the board, 187 is the mark.
Even if they were able to get a second place here, John, they need eliminations. 6 points is not enough to see them into first place. And there's one, so let's hit some... Oh, actually, 186 would put them up there.
And down they go.
Still need 2 eliminations yet. So it is Brute Force to secure that top spot. But we still have Thundertalks in the game with 6 eliminations so far in this match. And it's looking ever more dire for
DRS go down. DRS go down. Blank, that's a team that was chasing the Vicious. Now it's only RRQ that can upset it. And the Vicious may have just hold on to the bottom set of bubble. And that is crazy to think. We were looking at those teams beneath them and thinking they could resurge. DRS had such a strong position, but RCB are on fire today.
7 elims so far. RCB leading the charge with Silas right at the front of the chariot. Doing some very, very good work. D Plus down to 3 players. Thundertalks on the other side, top 5. D Plus would need a ton more eliminations to make this work, and they have been completely cut out by Voin Donkey. And it's an unfortunate timing for Voin Donkey to suddenly step up in performance here, John.
And the Vicious maintain their spot. Just about. They will make it to the survival stages. We've cut out the bottom 5, but it's still all to play for around the 3rd place bubble. It's looking likely that we're seeing 3 EMEA group champions as well moving into these finals. Blank, that's a great result for the region. But let's see who's going to join them, because Thundertalk, they're on the defense, and they may also be able to push them off of that top spot too.
Push back down the hill. Circle shifts far down towards that south side. Doesn't really cut D Plus in, but will force Voin Donkey to move. It all comes down to placement points at this point in time. And a few eliminations. Realistically for D Plus, if they want this game to go their way, Thundertalks have to go out 4th. And then a couple of eliminations need to go through to D Plus or get a 2nd place. And hope beyond hope that they get just a couple, 1 or 2 elims on their side.
I feel like Thundertalk are kind of primed to be going down here, though. They're going for that bold sweep out, and actually they're putting a player forward. So maybe that is just their insurance gambit here, moving Sheng into that position along the roadside. Keeping RCB backed up against the wall. They're not actually going for that sweep. They're just putting pressure on. Voin Donkey want to get rid of D Plus here and ruin their chances of making a top 3 as well, potentially. We've got 2 teams battling for the top 3 spot. And we've got RCB and Voin Donkey, who have been standing up strong today. What a way to close down the group stages. Every single one of these teams deserves to be here.
The biggest thing right now is Voin Donkey. Do they opt to try and take this fight with D+, or do you start thinking about what is your next move inside this lobby? Because you need to head down the hill. RCB needs to head down the hill. They know there's a team waiting from the roadside. For the Thundertalks, they might have secured themselves an insane position. Obviously, RCB currently have the high ground. They move down. But as the circle gets closer and closer towards this roadside, Thundertalks get more and more capability inside this match, and King already finds one as the circle's closing, which might just mean RCB goes down to 3 off the back of this.
Thundertalk making their move now. RCB will light them up, so will Voin Donkey if they have angles on it. You'd think the D+ here would be all too happy to, but they're not. And they haven't made all the way across the crossing. They draw short and up to the ridgeline. Loxy's within nade range now, but the top side still cannot protect them. RCB getting torn down bit by bit. Silas is next. Loxy up into the tree. What have you got? There's nades there. And Sync does go down. That's their forward position for Thundertalk. So still, danger is afoot here. 7 eliminations. Won't be enough to chase all the way. But finally, D+ here have found an angle with chips.
They need that angle as well. Taking shots up towards Voin Donkey in the process. They need to get rid of Thunder Talks on this eastern side. They're going to be broadside soon. Voin Donkey gets sent off with Zeta going down to a knock there. D Plus might have just been able to sit on this south side and get themselves away from a lot of the action. Good nade over towards Silas. That's 3 players down and a big pickup from D Plus. Being able to take down one of the players on the high ground might just be they're able to finish off these players in the front line, and that's going to be a massive amount of points going through to D Plus.
But it would also mean that Thunder Talk stay alive, Blank, and because of the placement points going to get started to adding onto their tally, that could change the tune. They don't want to take down these teams on the high ground. Sure, get those elimination points on side, but you need Thunder Talk to be going down here and now.
D Plus being very slow about this, opting instead to take this moment to move down the hillside. And Thunder Talk's currently a little bit more preoccupied with the players up on high. Might not have spotted D Plus coming in through from the sidelines.
Voin Donkey back up to 4 players, getting that res coming on through, but RCB look to roll straight on into it. That's not going to happen. 3rd place now guaranteed for Thunder Talk. The points start to come through now, and this is dangerous for D Plus here. They need to take them out, and it might just be able to grant their wish here as Voin Donkey chime in. The roll down, it's a desperate breakout for Osal. He's sweeping through, and from the sidelines, D Plus Kia make it work. How many of the points do they get? Have they done enough? Will the chicken dinner be able to make it work for them? Because Voin Donkey now are the only thing that's going to stand in their way, and taking the team from PEL down with them.
It is so uncertain at this point. All 3 eliminations might sit them close. Chips at an awkward angle, leaning off to the left-hand side to prevent the shots from going through, but Zeta finds one. We're on the last circle here. Voin Donkey have to come off the hillside. It's Fanfian and Osal still alive, bandaging up. The smokes are there to keep them undercover, but they need a knock right now as it's 4 players from Voin Donkey stampeding down the hill.
Voin Donkey, Osal under pressure now from the top rope. They're looking to try and drink the soil from underneath them and push D Plus Kia back to the edge, right to the wire. It's all on Osal. Does he have enough? That point could be crucial. Blank, every single point matters now for D Plus Kia. And Voin Donkey, the only thing that can stop him, but the blue zone comes, and it does not wait. It will stretch out behind him, and Osal may look for the res. No, just moving into position. The flush onto Favian, and Voin Donkey want to play spoiler to South Korea. Osal with a nade sent his way. He's got one in response, but it may not be enough. Voin Donkey get another chicken dinner today. A magnificent result for them. But what has happened to the 3rd place bubble?
It's unbelievable what Voin Donkey's been able to do over the final day. I personally don't think D Plus has made it. Sadly, it will be right down to the wire, but I think Thunder Talks had quite a few eliminations by the end of that one. It'll be real close, but D Plus, they turn it on, but way too late. And I think even the guys understand it over there. They'll be waiting to hear the news, but oh my days, what a sad way to end it.
Thunder Talk may have done enough to defend, but it is as well a triple group championship for EMEA, which I'm pleased about. What's happened to that 3rd place? What are the tables looking like? There's only one way to find out. It's with Jason and the boys.
Jason and the boys here to break down that last game. You can see, I think, on the faces of D Plus that they knew they did not come close enough to take away 3rd place from Thunder Talk. But obviously, as you did hear, I mean, Voin Donkey have had a fantastic day, but the day is unfortunately not going to be enough for them to get into a top 3, but at least gets the momentum they need into the survival stage kicking off next week here, gentlemen. A very tough game indeed, very tough to watch from so many different angles, but Hot Jukes, they first of all, 4MV going out early, no chance for them to get top 3, and D Plus, if they just somehow held on up against Voin, maybe stop the res, as Max did point out, potentially they could have surpassed and taken 3rd. Who knows?
Oh man, it's the worst feeling on the planet, dude, because you could just see the look on their players' faces, the thoughts running through their mind, just thinking all the plays we could have done differently, the adjustments we could have made, and man, all it took was just probably just a handful of points to make it in. I mean, we still have to see the leaderboards in order to make it official here, but man, Thunder Talk clutching it up right there on the end. I mean, they did not just lay down and let the zone, predict their future. They went out there, they put in the work, and they made sure that they were going to get that ticket on over to London. But you know what? I also got to give some love to Voin Donkey here, because we were talking about this squad, what we think they're going to do during survival stage. Winning a game like this right at the end is definitely going to do great things for their morale going into that.
I do have to say, Hodrix, right now, for me, the two most improved teams are going to be RCB and Voin Donkey ID. I think that there's definitely a lot of hopes after their current performance heading into the survival stage. So I'm definitely happy to see them improve so quickly, especially in the last 2 days of this Group Green. But as we were seeing there during the B-roll after the game, there's so much heartbreak for some of these teams, and especially D plus Kia. So close, yet so far.
तो भाई लोग आज के लिए तो इतना ही था। म्यांमार का फाइनल मैच होगा दिसंबर को, शायद 6, 7, 8 को। तो आज ना उस दिन मुझे तो लगा था कि डॉग 4 MB निकाल लेंगे, क्योंकि वो लोग जोन में अंदर थे, लेकिन यार वो लोग बहुत ही ज़्यादा